In New Jersey, we have an alimony statute that provides for different types of alimony. We have open duration alimony, limited duration alimony, rehabilitative alimony, reimbursement alimony. Each of those alimony types has a different nuance. However, all are subject to the alimony factors. So there are a variety of alimony factors which take into consideration the length of the marriage, your age, your health, what your contribution was to the marriage, what your equitable distribution is going to be, what your child responsibilities are going forward, etc. There's a whole host of factors. Those factors are then weighed to determine both amount and duration. The limitations, I should say, of those factors would be when you're looking at rehabilitative or reimbursement. So in rehabilitative, that's when you're going to court and saying, I need alimony to support myself and or possibly the children going forward. And I also need to go back to some type of education to hone in or create an applicable skill to be self-supportive. So in rehabilitative alimony, there may be a period of time where you are getting an increased amount of alimony because the court wants you to focus on your education, complete your degree, because then when that ends, you're going to get less alimony because the plan is you're now going to be in the workforce. To present that case, you would have to present what you want to do, where you want to get your degree or certificate, how long it's going to take, how much it's going to cost, and what is the requirement going to be. Think of if you're going to school for marketing, where you would do an internship, versus going to school for nursing, where you may have to do 30 clinical hours a week plus school. So that's where you think about what it takes. That's what you're thinking about. We then look at what's the income capacity after you complete that education so that we can come up with the balance of the alimony. Reimbursement alimony is when you're owed money back for a substantial contribution that you made to the marriage for which you are entitled to reimbursement. Simple example, if you got married and you used an inheritance to pay for your spouse's education, well, you might be entitled to reimbursement for that amount of money. So that may not weigh so much into the alimony factors, but we'd still have to consider the alimony factors because maybe you're not entitled to that back. Alimony is modifiable after the final agreement or judgment is signed based upon a substantial change in circumstances. When you present a substantial change in circumstances, it has to be for a period of time. So if you lost your job last week, you're probably not getting an alimony modification. Typically, you're going to look at a 30 to 90-day period of loss of employment to get a modification. But that modification may not be permanent. It may be temporary to allow you to get into your next job, into your next field, or wherever your path is taking you. There's also modifications resulting from the other parties earning more money than planned. So if when you got divorced, the expectation was that your ex-spouse was going to make $70,000 a year, but it turns out they're making $110,000 a year, the court would say, yes, you, the payor, may have not had a change in your status, but the payee has had a substantial change in their status, and therefore a modification is appropriate. So modifications post final agreement or judgment are based on a substantial change of circumstance, which could be yours or could be that of your spouse. New Jersey had a significant restructuring of the alimony law not too long ago in the legal world. So that restructuring requires that the court consider the duration of the marriage in determining the duration of alimony. That was always a component, but now it is a more significant factor. So open duration alimony is eligible to those married couples who have been married for more than 20 years, or if less than 20 years, there's a significant equitable need to have an open duration alimony. That could be medical, It could be child issues that really keep one party from going back into the workforce on a full-time basis. Those are very nuanced cases. If you are married for less than 20 years, then the alimony amount will not exceed the term of your marriage. So if you're married 17, the alimony wouldn't be more than 17 years. It's going to be somewhere between 0 and 17, depending on all of those other factors. Alimony is guided by the alimony statute with some very specific consideration to your family dynamic. You are not necessarily limited to the alimony statutory factors, so it's very important to share the nuances and special issues within your family to help to build the proper alimony amount and term. If you have any questions, give us a call at Jersey Coast Family Law.